Now, today in the Hidden Gems, there's an anime project called Paper World. This Paper World is basically a isekai type of cartoon, but not Japanese, more Western than actually Eastern, because there is actually a difference. Because Japanese sort of habit of making isekais of sort of kind of supernatural fantasy, sort of D&D kind of isekai, how the matching system work, or the ranking system, or the chain of command, how you use sort of a power fantasy of that universe. Usually they go that specific direction, how cruel and horrible really is, or how happy and go lucky really is, because you're the one who basically changed the world. But Western sort of isekai goes a little different, still the same, but yet does something completely different changes. One of them is focused on what is this world, not using humans, using sort of animal or creature to describe the world, how you're the only sort of human fit that world or human like of that world, but using more creativity of the world than actually the Japanese style of isekai. And Paper World fall into the Western sort of style, because Paper World asks that question: what happens if you follow the world of isekai, but everything is made of paper? Everybody, you drink oil and you live like paper, eat paper. Can you live? Can you escape? Will be the punishment actually staying there? And that is sort of the take on Paper World. Before I continue explaining what is Paper World, my name is Recho. I like to talk about animation, not just animation, the reviews, first impressions, cartoon theories, and sometimes, if I have some spare time, cartoon breaking news. Of course, you like how it's going, or like to help my channel, put a like, comment, and subscribe. That's the only thing you need to do. If not, that's cool. If you do, thank you. Because of you, I'm getting close to my main goal of 2,000 subscribers. And yes, I'm getting close. Every single day, people who put like, comment, and share. Thank you. Now let's start talking about this hidden indie gem called Paper World. Now, to find this indie planet is from YouTube, a channel called Hayako Studios. Honestly, I know not much about this YouTube channel. The only thing I know is they made this indie pilot. You know what? I'm very impressed. Even that it sort of has some issues, but even that you could overlook it. But I will explain some of the issues. But what is this indie pilot is about, and why I would actually recommend it? It's very simple, because this pilot is sort of surprisingly really good while actually noticing all the little mistakes. In fact, let me explain at least the synopsis of the pilot. Basically, you follow a character called Ashley, who is basically bored on regular life. That she doesn't know what to do. She sort of drag herself to class and going back home till her mother kind of accidentally, or not accidentally, it sort of found this sort of book that give it to her daughter, saying, "Look what I found. You could use it for maybe writing or doing drawings." And Ashley sort of look at it like, "Yeah, sure, mom. I don't think so." But she keep looking at the papers. The more she keep looking at it, the more like she was sort of interested in using this book. In the very end, she did. But the only problem is this book is sort of kind of cursed. When she started writing or drawing, it seems everything sort of normal till her pen leaked out all the ink of the pen. Automatically, she attempted to run to basically clean out the mess till her fish fall off her bowl, landed on the ink, and she tried to save it. But the only problem is, when she doing this, the fish was swallowed with the ink, including her, fully in the world of Paper World. And this is the thing, what it grabs you. It's because the idea of the world just being paper, it is sort of very interesting and also very appealing with the eyes, because when she falls down, the first thing she grabs is a cloud, but because she's falling, that's the only thing she grabs. But how the cloud slowly just rips because she's holding her hand, she fell down even more. And that is just sort of interesting, because it's showing bit by bit how this world actually works. Like how she wake up seeing the first character on her face looking like a dear human, but actually is sort of a very we all see someone creating this sort of hybrid kind of, you could say, gold or antler person with an eye patch, with a sort of sticky note as an eye patch. It's sort of weird, but you get his personality in a way that it just sort of freaks you out. And you've seen other paper creatures there. They how they all design kind of like writing in a sheet of paper in your classroom, and that just make it really appealing and very interesting, but also asking a lot of questions. Before you can ask any more questions, the three main characters of that world introduce themselves. So it would be basically Rose, Zach, and Lix. Each one of them have a sort of distinctive character, but maybe not used enough. I explain that later. Basically, Rose is basically the happy-go-lucky character who like to share and have hugs. You also have Zach, the sarcastic asshole who is mean-spirited, but he tries his best to actually have conversation. You also have Lynx that I think he just sort of odd. Yeah, that's best way to describe it because it doesn't really explain who he is or what he is. But I feel it's sort of the example how the world is sort of odd because when he started talking, his mouth doesn't go up and down; it goes sideways, opening the mouth like this, like a sort of odd way that just grabs your attention. But that's the only thing you know about Lynx. The rest of the cast, you have a good understanding their personalities, how it actually work, and how actually trying to figure out what's going on. That they sort of explain, well, if you stay here too long, you become paper. You can escape, but you only have a small time limit. And this time limit is basically running out, and they point the direction of how to escape. And this is the point actually tempted to run to get out. But unfortunately, it's too late, and she's now stuck in paper world, becoming paper. And you think there's sort of a dark twist, but even more, something more bigger, interesting what actually happens. At the very end, they show you the book is sort of alive and moving around Ashley's own home. Like the book was basically planting itself by itself to trap more people. And this is the thing that just grasped my attention. And this whole thing is just so interesting and odd, especially how it's sort of made in a way. What I mean is, the first half of the whole pilot is sort of slow and drags on purpose, but you do see all the animation issues. What I said at the very beginning, like the fingers not drawn correctly on purpose, the movements kind of sluggish. Sometimes the character moves the right way, others feel sort of off. But once more, it's things that you probably will not notice if you're not actually focused on that. You focus on the characters and story of the idea of the pilot. The second you probably will notice is sort of strange. It's sort of the audio, specifically the voice acting. The voice acting is fine, but I feel they sort of stuck with a sort of weird echo, like they were not close enough with the microphone or too far away, or it feels sort of odd, like they didn't have good microphones to help them amplify the sort of world building. But once more, that's little things that could bother you, could not bother you of this pilot. For me, I think give it sort of a charm because at the very end is ending. What do you expect? But at the same time, I have to admit, this pilot is ambitious. I mean, it really slams hard, especially in Sky Universe. There's all these unique OCs walking this world, stuck at this sort of small island with everything else just dead space. They don't know, are you going mad? What you do? Can you escape? Can we revert this back to normal? In fact, you even ask even more questions that what happened to the people who became paper? Each single paper person was a human being, or this is a curse. Why they have to drink ink? That's the only substance they have to survive. Can our main lead can survive? It's just sort of a lot of weird questions you want to know because you're intrigued. This pilot does grab your attention. You want more answers. but a positive way, because there is a negative and positive way to take this. Usually, if you ask so many questions, you kind of ruin the illusion. But this is not. There's the positive way asking questions because you want to know more about this world. You want to know about the characters, why this character draw this specific way, why the character move that specific way. It's because how they draw, or they don't know how to, or this how their body is. And it leaves a lot of questions, a lot of things on your imagination, wondering what could be the next episode. And that is a good thing because you are invested. You want to know more. You want to know. And then our main lead Ashley was cursed to stuck in this world, or is sort of a way out? Or would this book come from? Who cursed it? What magic? Once more, question after question after question. But it's kind of fascinating, especially how this sort of really open your eyes, like what can happen next. And something that's sort of like a Twilight Zone kind of episode, or if you're youngsters there, you don't know what Twilight Zone is, think of it sort of like a Black Mirror episode without any technology. It's more about the magic, not the technology. Like that's the thing. Is sort of very interesting. Of course, you do have some hiccup, like the links that you don't know why they give him some time to talk because he doesn't really add anything in the pilot. But you can't argue that argument. It's basically to show how the body characters move, how each character is completely different, and maybe this is the basically point of that character. But I really don't know. In fact, once again, I said this again and again, this pilot has some issues, but you can overlook it because it is very interesting. It gives you that sense of dread, but yet fascination that you're wondering what's gonna happen next. And I think that was sort of the goal of the pilot. And you know what? It worked. It's something I want to see the second episode. In fact, if you've seen this indie pilot, do you know about it? Tell me down below. Let me know. Honestly, I got nothing else to say. Just a recommendation. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.